We are officially 1 month into 2026, and if you are anything like me and you're crawling out of your hibernation after literally what felt like the longest month ever, in this video, I'm going to talk to you about exactly how I would rebrand myself if 2026 was the year of my quantum leap. If you want to go from this to this, in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 steps that I would take to completely rebrand my entire identity. And everything that I'm going to share with you in this video is research-backed in behavioral therapy and psychology built upon change. My goal is by the end of this video, you know exactly what steps to take to become your most lethal self this year. A few months ago, I read a book called The Alter Ego Effect, and I absolutely am obsessed with this practice of creating an alter ego. Any level of change that you want to create has to start with an identity that you are becoming and embodying every single day. The power of an alter ego is that it gives you a really tangible sense of who you are actually becoming, from your qualities to your thought processes, your belief systems, and your actions and behaviors. In the book, The Alter Ego Effect, he talks about having a field of play in which your alter ego becomes present and basically comes online. I've always done alter egos and identity work through the lens of who I want to be holistically in my life, but for the sake of this video, I want you to think about one area of your life that you have a lot of goals and aspirations around for the year 2026. This might be your career, it might be your relationships, it might be your health. If you can pick one field of play, that will allow for you to get really hyper-focused on exactly who you want to be showing up in that domain. When I started playing with this idea of an alter ego about 6 years ago, I named her Ava 2.0. It was the 2.0 version of myself. I thought about what she would do on a day-to-day basis, how she would wake up in the morning, what her morning routine looked like, how she would dress, the way that she would speak, her mindset and her belief system. What that did was give me a really clear instruction manual of how to show up on a day-to-day basis, how to respond to the different circumstances and opportunities in my life, how to navigate fear or worry or anxiety, and most importantly, how to show up confidently in every single domain of my life. Right now, I want you to start to think about that alter ego in this specific field of play. Imagine that the desire or the goal that you have in this specific area of your life has already come to fruition. When you picture that version of yourself, how do they talk? How do they think? What do they dress like? What is their hairstyle like? Who are the people around them? And what does their day-to-day look like? When you're able to articulate this, it's going to give you the step-by-step instructions in how to actually show up as that version of yourself on a day-to-day basis. Which brings me to the second point, which is focusing on the micro moments that compound over time. A lot of times when we think about a quantum leap, it's like this instantaneous moment where everything in your life is different. But in reality, it's those micro moments that add up over time that create the shift in your reality. So when we're talking about stepping into your alter ego, it's not just in one sense, one event, one opportunity, but it's choosing to put on that version of yourself every single day until that becomes hardwired into your nervous system. It might feel a little uncomfortable at first, but it's simply just because it's unfamiliar and foreign to your brain and to your body. But what's so cool about the brain is that we have this thing called neuroplasticity, which essentially means that we can change over time. We are not an old dog that can't learn new tricks. You have the ability to mold your nervous system and what you believe, all of the things that are programmed in that you probably do unconsciously right now, day to day. When you bring this idea of neuroplasticity in and the alter ego, what we're doing is creating new neural pathways in the brain that essentially carve out over time a new identity. Neurons that fire together, wire together. So the more that you make this a habitual process of stepping into your alter ego every single day, the less that you will be like the past version of yourself and the more you will actually become the alter ego. I love this example from Beyonce because at one point, Beyonce had to create the alter ego of Sasha Fierce. Now, she retired Sasha Fierce after several years of performing and touring all over the place. And what that tells us is that the phrase fake it till you make it doesn't really make sense. Instead, it's embody it until I become it. And that's when the alter ego truly takes place of the old self. When you focus on the micro moments that compound over time, you're really looking at the day-to-day ways in which you can take small actions to show up as this alter ego and trust that every single time that you do, you're creating a new pathway in your brain that is leading to the new identity. The mistake that so many people make is that they only focus on these big moments, the big opportunities, the big breakthroughs, but all of those big moments are the effect of all of the little moments where you decided to be that person rather than an old self. Rather than looking at all of the big moments as external proof that you are becoming that version of yourself, focus on your action as the proof, because that's going to show you you every single day that it's not a matter of if you are going to become that person, it's only a matter of when. And one of the easiest ways to do this is to just start your day as her. What I mean by this is carving out space every single morning to be in relationship with that higher level version of yourself. Think about what she would wear, how she would talk, how she would move about her day. If you set aside time, even 5-10 minutes, to sit in stillness in meditation and visualize yourself moving through your day as that version of yourself, this mental rehearsal is going to program the actions, beliefs, and identity in before the experience actually happens. Mental rehearsal is used by high performers, athletes, and artists all over the world. And essentially, the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. When you mentally rehearse your day or your big opportunity or your interview or your sales call, what you're doing is not only neutralizing the experience so you don't have as much anxiety or worry or overthinking going into it, but on top of that, you're also programming in your response from a really calm environment. What I want you to do is start your day with meditation, visualization, and mental rehearsal, because when you literally embody and put on that version of yourself every single day, your rebrand becomes inevitable. The caveat to that is that obviously life is gonna life, and you might have an incredible meditation in the morning. You might visualize yourself doing all the things that you want to do in the best possible way. But what's going to happen when you get cut off on the freeway, or when somebody says something to you that's snarky and sassy where you want to clap back at them? In those moments, this is where an anchor is so important, to remind your system of who you are becoming rather than your past. Anchors are essentially programmed ways to remind the nervous system of the new identity shift that you are creating. And you can bring an anchor in a lot of different ways. I've used jewelry to anchor me, lipstick to anchor me, even specific pressure points on my body. What ends up happening with these anchors is that your nervous system and your body starts to associate the new state of being with the anchor. Here's what you're gonna do to create an anchor. The first thing is that you need to actually choose the anchor. I personally love scents like perfume because that sensory experience brings us back really quickly to the memory of whatever it is that we are anchoring to. But again, it could be a piece of clothing or a pressure point. Once you choose whatever your anchor is, the second step that you're going to take is associating the anchor with the different state shift. In your morning practice, when you go to visualize and embody all of the feelings and qualities of your alter ego, so let's say that that version of yourself is confident and powerful and high energy. What you can do in your practice, and this is why I love breathwork so much, is begin to embody those feelings so that on an emotional level, you start to feel confident, high energy, and empowered. When you are in that peak sensational or emotional experience, that's when you bring your anchor in. So again, if you've got perfume, when you're feeling all of the feelings of high energy, confidence, and power, you spray yourself with the perfume so that scent then becomes associated with confidence, high energy, and power. Another really simple way is to have a bomb-ass playlist that you play every single morning with a bunch of songs that make you feel the way that alter ego feels. Dance around your room, get your energy up, embody the emotions and the sensations, and then again, if we've got a blazer or a piece of clothing, put that piece of clothing on, look in the mirror, and you can just simply say out loud, this is my power blazer. When I wear this blazer, I feel the most confident. The more that you start programming this in day by day, your brain is going to start to associate that piece of clothing or that makeup with that specific state. And the third step is having that anchor with you throughout the day. Whenever your energy feels wobbly, whenever you start going back into a past version of yourself, you can actually grab that anchor to literally anchor you back into the frequency of your alter ego. I love having anchors, especially when I'm getting on stages or when I'm recording videos or when I'm going to speak to clients or have any big opportunities where I know I need to embody my alter ego and take up more space. The next time that you have a big event or a big opportunity, make sure you have your anchor with you so that you can embody your alter ego as well. With any journey of personal development, we're obviously not going to get everything all at once. There is what I like to call the liminal space where you are taking action, you're showing up as your alter ego, you are fully rebranded on the inside, but you haven't necessarily seen all of the external responses to the changes you've made internally. Now, the first thing that I'll say is that it has to happen internally first on an energetic level. The 3D world is literally matter. That is the last piece to shift in your rebrand process. Naturally, there might be seasons where you're wondering, is this going to work? Can I really do this? What if I have to go back to the old way? But what I want to tell you, and this is the most important part about rebranding yourself, is that you need to delete your your past and set your sights on the future. It is so easy to look back at all of the things that have happened in your past and to look at your past as proof of what's possible for you moving forward, but the past didn't get you to where you actually want to go. It's got you to where you are now. What got you here now isn't what's going to get you to the next level. So literally Control Alt Delete your past, stop looking to the past for where you're going, and set your sight on your future rather than where you've been. The reason why people stay so stuck in their old patterns is that they're always looking towards their past to make decisions about their future. But the problem with that is you're going to just keep creating the same results. Your future requires different actions, different decisions, different thought processes, different beliefs. And the only way to create the future that you desire is to choose in the present moment to act from your future rather than your past. Trust me, this is going to feel really unfamiliar at first because the past is familiar. Your brain has literally hardwired it into your system. And the future is foreign, it's unknown, it's unfamiliar. But if you are a growth-oriented individual, you need to get comfortable in the uncomfortable. You need to get excited about stepping outside of your comfort zone and living in that arena, because if you're someone whose evolution is a priority, you're gonna be spending a lot of time there. But when you have your alter ego and you've got that instruction manual of how to think, how to feel, how to act, and you've got your anchor and you understand that the micro moments compound over time, living outside of your comfort zone isn't actually scary. It gets to be a fun challenge of experiencing life, not through the lens of where you've been, but where you're going. Your homework for this video is to design your alter ego. I want you to pick out one anchor and then spend over the next 7 days, 10 minutes every single morning visualizing and mental rehearsing your day through the lens of this alter ego. And as a next step, I would love to hear what the name of your alter ego is. So drop in the comments whatever you're naming this next level version of yourself, and I cannot wait to see how you rebrand yourself for 2026. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because on this channel, I'm going to share with you identity work, money mindset tools, and how to build a life beyond your wildest dreams for all of the women who know that they are meant for more.